Section 1 of Brief Diversions. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Anthony Ogus. Brief Diversions by J.B. Priestley. Section 1. Tales. The impossibility of knowing everyone. A profiteer, a priest of Nebet, from Heliopolis, and a fool were walking together one day, when they met the grim figure of War, belching flame and fury. "Who is that?" asked the fool and the priest of each other, quickening their pace. But the profiteer raised his hat, bowed humbly, and stayed to chat for a few moments with the terrible figure, before rejoining his companions. Presently they came upon Death, mumbling to himself by the roadside. The fool and the profiteer raised their eyebrows and passed on, but the priest of Nebet touched his forehead and made certain strange signs with his hands, to which Death replied in like manner. Then the three spied a beautiful woman who sat among the wild flowers. It was Love, combing her hair and singing all the love songs of the world. "That is a fine woman," said the profiteer, staring hard. "I do not know her," said the priest, somewhat sadly. But the fool ran forward and caught her hands in his, and they laughed together. So the priest and the profiteer walked on, but when they had gone a little way, they turned round, and there was the fool sitting at her feet, and looking into her eyes, as she sang and combed her hair. "The fool has all the luck," they grumbled. A moving story of real life. There was at one time upon the earth a Mr. S. L. Binkle, who always spoke of himself as a business expert. He would from time to time scatter broadcast little sheets of paper on which was printed, "Efficiency, what does it mean to you?" and many other dark sayings. This Binkle was a middle-aged man who lived strangely. He never laughed or sang or ate heartily, though some have said that he had a weakness for tapioca pudding. It chanced that one afternoon, when he was sitting in his office, there was some noisy music in the street near by. So Binkle put small pieces of cotton wool in his ears. Far away the gods laughed. A few minutes later the office door was flung open, and a red-faced man rushed in, crying, "You, Mr. Binkle? Come down to Balham next Tuesday evening. Talk on business efficiency. No time to stop. Train. Ask for Mechanics' Institute. 5 guineas." After which the stranger departed noisily. These loose fragments of speech were quite intelligible, and indeed welcome to Binkle, who made a note in a little book, and smiled with satisfaction. But alas, who can foresee what the gods have decreed? For, with the cotton wool in his ears, Binkle had not heard the stranger rightly, and on the Tuesday following, instead of going to Balham, he went to Barham, which is full of poets and wild lovers, and there he perished miserably. The true account of a quarrel between a man we all know and a very old family. The man who thought about proteeds sat by the roadside writing with an indelible pencil in a little notebook, and Spring, all in pink and white, came tripping by and cried to him, "I will dance for you. Watch me dance." She danced very prettily, but the man went on writing and never looked at her once. So Spring, being young, burst into tears and told her sister Summer. Summer said to herself, "Spring is very foolish to cry. Probably he does not like dancing. I will sing to him." She sang a beautiful, sleepy song to him, but he never listened, being busy writing in his little notebook. Summer was indignant, and told her sister Autumn. Autumn said, "There are many good men who do not like dancing. I will give him some of my wine." So she went to the man and offered him her purple wine, but he merely said, "I do not drink wine," and resumed his writing. Then Autumn was very angry indeed, and told her big brother Winter all that had passed. Winter was an enormous fellow, with a dreadful roar and howl, and every time he moved, snowflakes came whirling from his flowing robes. "Show me the fellow," he bellowed, puffing out his cheeks. Then he saw the man who thought about proteeds still sitting by the roadside. "Do you know me?" roared Winter. And the man looked, and his teeth chattered like dead men's bones. Then Winter seized him by the neck and whirled him round and round, and finally flung him over his left shoulder into space. And the man who thought about proteeds has not been seen since. But the other day a boy found the little notebook lying by the roadside. At the Red Lion, Rampell Street. Rather late one Saturday evening, Bacchus walked into the Red Lion Inn at the corner of Rampell Street. He said nothing, but looked at the landlord, who on his part was trying to discover the company, meaning rank or station, of the new customer, so that he should know whether to open the door of the private bar or best room, or wave his hand in the direction of the tap room. This is the great problem and test for all innkeepers in England. The landlord was still puzzling his brains when the god spoke in a rich mellow voice. "Happy mortal, let us drink and sing together, and talk of the laughing glories of the world. See, I will garland thy brow with leaves of vine." And he stepped forward. The landlord recoiled hastily. "No, you don't," he snarled. "You get nothing here. Outside!" The god did not move, so the landlord grew angry and cried, "Outside, I say! Here, Bill, Jack, throw him out!" Bacchus, taken by surprise, was immediately flung through the swing doors, landing at the feet of a policeman outside. On Monday the god was fined many shillings for being drunk and disorderly, but fortunately no one in the police court recognised him, for that morning he was dressed in an old suit and wore a cloth cap and red scarf, so that he looked like one of those men who shave only on Saturday afternoons. The danger of accepting gifts while holding municipal office. A poet, wishing to remove from Shotterton to Camden Town, found himself sadly encumbered with dreams, and decided to give them away before he left. He started with the little crippled girl next door, to whom he gave 2 splendid dreams of laughing gardens, and then went all round Shotterton, it is not a very large town, giving away his dreams. When he returned to his lodging, he found he had 1 dream left, so he went to the policeman, who always stood at the corner of the street, and said, "I cannot understand it. I have 1 dream left, yet I think I have given 1 to every person in the town, and to some I have given 2. "There is the mayor," replied the policeman doubtfully. "The very man! I had forgotten him," cried the poet, and ran off to find the mayor. The mayor accepted the gift very reluctantly, and tried to get rid of it, but it clung to him persistently, as dreams do. It was a good dream, a dream of the white neck of a queen who died 4,000 years ago, but the mayor did not want it. As time went on, it weighed upon him more and more, and when he should have been attending to municipal affairs or opening a bazaar, he found his mind wandering, and he was for ever brooding on the dead Queen. Until one day, when the council was discussing a new bye-law to prevent children from playing in the public parks, he was asked to speak, and, full of the dream, he burst into song, to the great astonishment of all present. He was then asked to resign, which he did, and now hardly any one ever calls or even leaves a card. End of section 1.